What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about SNDL. I want to give you an overview of some of the recent data points, what's been coming out, and where I see things going from here. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. So currently it is down 2.75%. A lot of volatility though, so 205 the low, 227 is the high. A lot of volume today, so 4.5 million shares being traded. So most likely it's going to be well above the average today. And today is just a little bit more consolidation based on yesterday's positive momentum, because it did come out the fact that the US is actually considering to reclassify cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3, which would be huge. And I think that's just a move in the right direction for full legalization to be obviously next after that. So when it comes down to investors in SNDL and just the whole cannabis sector that have been holding on dear for the last 2 years, this definitely is like a glimmer of hope. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. But when it comes down to SNDL specifically, there has been no SEC filings, no press releases today, nothing like that. So it is just following the broader market. And one thing to note, I just wanted to show you based on the latest Morningstar report, which did come out, I believe, last Thursday, it shows SNDL being $3.64 the fair market value. That's based on assets and stuff like that. So once again, I think with the recent news that came out, I think a lot of people are starting to look at a lot of these cannabis stocks, looking at their balance sheet, how much cash, their debt, and just the potential in the future, and just seeing what is a substantial discount and what's not. And SNDL, based on this, is a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. When it comes down to the options so far within the first 2 hours of the trading day, $69,000 in calls being purchased versus 23,000 in puts. So based on this information, clearly people are very, very optimistic that SNDL will continue to trend up. Looking as far as calls, so if you are optimistic, it is showing to be roughly between the $2 and $2.50 range for the next couple of weeks out. So kind of a little bit more within this range. But like I mentioned, and what I'm going to talk on in a second is the technicals. It is just trading within the fib range. But if you are kind of negative on SNDL, there's not many puts actually out there right now. There's a couple out there just for the future, maybe around $1. But even in their case, they are anticipating around the $2. So of course, I think $2 might be the happy price right now, definitely for it to stay. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys always do your own due diligence. But over and above this, though, a couple of other additional things. As far as big money, there's only been one transaction so far today on the secondary market over $100,000, and it was $101,000. Yesterday was pretty popular. And when it comes down to dark pool, there was none today, a couple yesterday. But when it comes down to dark pool, a lot of people associate that to shorting. So I'll give you an overview of what shorts are doing. And when it comes down to SNDL, especially more so 2021, a lot of people did get into SNDL because it was going to be a very big squeeze play. I think the short interest was roughly around 30%. But as of right now, it's cooled off, and I think people are seeing SNDL being a legitimate company and not necessarily a meme stock. So it's very hard for a company to kind of move out of meme status, but SNDL definitely did do that. Short score is currently 71, utilization is 67.46, and the fact, once again, that I'm bringing this up and even discussing it is more so for a benchmark, not necessarily because it's going to squeeze. So just so you're aware, right now shorts are increasing 61.38 thousand shares. 5.86% of the free float is being shorted. So of course that is very, very low, kind of a good range for within that sector. 15.15 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is 9.12%. So again, pretty standard stuff. The fact that they are increasing on a red day, it shows that they do feel that it's kind of justified. That's how I interpret that information. So let me know your thoughts on that. And one thing, hopefully with some at least moving in the right direction, reclassification of cannabis, then you will see a lot more analyst ratings, because the last analyst rating was, it looks like 9 months ago, and that was from Cantor Fitzgerald, who did give a $3.60 price target, and Pablo does have a 40% success rating. So once again, not necessarily the best, but if you are looking for a lot of good compiled information such as Morningstar reports, analyst ratings, forecasts for upcoming earnings, take a look at Interactive Brokers. It is completely free to have all of this information. But when it comes comes down to it, what is the technical saying? Based on the momentum indicator shows number of retail investors have been getting in, a little bit more out today, but generally over the last, looks like since August the 28th, they've been getting in. Stochastic is currently at 83, which is kind of considered overbought a little bit, but there is a bullish sentiment right now, and RSI is kind of the same thing as what the stochastic is showing. But when it comes to some of the fib levels, like I've indicated in this video, with it being at $2.11, it is currently trading between this R2 and this R3, which in comparison to a lot of other growth stocks is actually, and surprisingly, very, very good. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. But the fact that it did go down to 205, obviously it did bounce off of that general area of the R2. And even today though, it did break and was above this R3. So it definitely does have the momentum, and it does have the ability to go up, because even if you look back in comparison to over the last year to date, for instance, or even the 1 year, it does have a lot of good opportunity. And in SNDL's case, when it does go up, it goes up very, very fast, as you can kind of see right here. And as it stands right now, it is above both the 50 and 100-day moving averages. So technical wise, things are looking very good. And as well, based on this, the 50-day moving average just recently crossed the 100. So I think the technicals are looking very, very good. Today is just simply more of a consolidation and just a short-term kind of situation. I do feel bigger and better things will be coming for SNDL. So let me know your thoughts on SNDL. Give yourself a shout out in the comments below. And even when I've been covering it, like I said, on and off since roughly, I think 2021, early 2021. So give yourself a shout out if you have been in SNDL since then, or Sundial growers back then. I remember when I was covering the videos and they recently changed their name, that really threw me off quite a lot. I kept saying Sundial growers, but yeah, let me know your thoughts on SNDL. And do you think that they are actually going to be successful? Not obviously SNDL, but do you think the US government is going to fully move it from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3? Because that would be huge for the sector. And I feel like even if that was to be fully announced, the stock would go up at least 100% that day, most likely. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, this broker has an amazing deal right now. So sign up for a free account, but if you throw $100 at it, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock can be valued at $2,000. So this in among itself is one of the best deals, only up until September 30th. Link in the description below, and also the comments to Moomoo, and also to Interactive Brokers, which is completely free for all of that information, which I highly recommend you guys taking advantage of. With that said, I appreciate all of you watching, and let's eventually make a lot of money on SNDL.